Kpaceguy here. You see this pile of crap right here? I decided that I'm going to go ahead and go through all of this and get rid of stuff that I don't want. This is just a whole bunch of speaker wire, RCA cables, LED strips, what else is in here? HDMI cables galore. There's a few, here we go. There's a few banana plugs here that I'm getting rid of. I actually gave 2 pairs to the people who bought my speakers. And this box right here behind me is my PL200 subwoofer that I finally sold. So now I'm gonna ship that off tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow. But I decided to go through this, and the reason why I'm showing you all this stuff is because I wanna tell you how important it is to kind of clean out your system and how to better manage your wires and things like that. So you're probably thinking, well, don't get rid of it because you may need it somewhere down the line. And you're right, which is why I've kept it so long. But some of these wires are just little 18 gauge wires that I won't need anymore because my speakers they need way bigger gauge than this. It might even be 20 gauge wire. And also, they're different lengths. They've been cut over time for different rooms, different speaker setups, and they may or may not apply into the new listening system that I have. Now, there are some that I will keep. Of course, I'm not going to get rid of it, but the reason why I'm going through some of it now is because I'm actually going to upgrade my wire to 12 gauge wire instead of 16. And all these wires here are 16 gauge or less. So I'm going to upgrade to 12. And the reason why I'm doing that is because the more power you pump through your system, this applies to cars as well, the more power that you put through your system, the bigger gauge wire you need to have, or you're going to end up melting your wire. Also, it helps to have bigger gauge wire because it sends more power through that wire at a time. So it can actually handle it. It's more so important for car audio because you're using, what, 3,000 watts, 5,000 watts, 10,000 watts. You need 0 gauge, 2 gauge, 4 gauge wire to handle that. In home, you won't need anything over 12 gauge. Most banana plugs don't fit more than 10 gauge, so you won't need too much. It's really for those high-end systems. We're going to go through here and get rid of some of this stuff that I may or may not want. Look at this. Like I have like 20 different size HDMI cables. They're all 4K. I thought about just getting rid of them and giving it to you guys, which I might, but shipping a cable is kind of random. It's kind of a weird thing to just send out to people. But I don't know. I just have a whole bunch of cables that I have no use for. I have so many that they're just sitting here, and of course my system's already hooked up, so I don't need all this extra stuff. And like I said, I'm getting new cables. I'm upgrading cables because a lot of this stuff is, you know, really thin, really worn down. But I do want to tell you guys that it's super important to make sure that you feed your system with good wire. Don't go crazy with it. You don't need anything expensive because after a certain price point, you're not really doing anything. You may be paying for like braided cables or 24 karat gold plated terminals and things like that. You don't really need that kind of stuff. You're really not going to hear a difference. Now, sometimes you do, depending on where you're coming from, you may hear a difference, but I can't hear a difference from a $10 cable and a $100 cable. I just can't, because the $10 cables aren't that bad. But you do need to make sure that you do have decent cable. Make sure your gauges are correct. Don't go any less than 16 gauge unless you're using satellites, and 18 gauge will be fine. But for a tower speaker, 16 gauge minimum. I have some 14 gauge here that I couldn't really hear the difference with. And I just want to go ahead and get 12 because I'm going to be sending some pretty good power to my speakers. It's very important to make sure you have good cables. So I have tons of subwoofer cables, different lengths. This is like 25 foot, really thin cable. I love this cable. It goes all the way around the room, and you can just kind of tuck it under the carpet, or you know, some cable management that way. Cable management also is important. One, obviously, because it just looks much nicer, much neater. Things aren't tangled up. But also, it's a safety hazard. When you have cables any which way and you have bare wire showing, it can catch on fire depending on how much current you're sending. So I know, like, on the ends of speaker wire, see, like, here you go. On the end of speaker wire, I don't know if you guys can see that from this far away, but I'll put a picture of it. When you have ends like this showing like that, and you're kind of just all over the place, it can cause a fire. It can, if it ever touches carpet or something, it can cause a fire. Also, if your positive and negative ever touch and your amplifier is live, it's on, you'll blow your amp. That's how I lost my Yamaha receiver. I was being careless, and I was moving things around, and I was switching wire, and I had forgot that my amp was on. And as I was moving things, my positive negative touched, and my amp went off. And then when I got it repaired, he told me that it actually went into flames when he cut the power back on. So that's also a reason why you need cable management. One, because you need to tidy up, and two, it helps prolong your system. You don't want to do what I did and fry it, because you may or may not be under warranty and get it back. I happen to be under warranty, thank God, and I didn't have to pay anything, so that's perfect. So I'm just gonna go through here and clean it up. Just want to share with you guys how important it is to do this. Also, I advise you guys to go with banana plugs for probably two main reasons. One, it's a much quicker way to plug in and unplug your stuff. Much easier. They are usually color coded with red and black. There's some that are not, but usually they have some kind of indication. There's different sizes for depending on what gauge you have. They usually screw in and out like that, or some you can actually take a physical flathead and screw and unscrew. I have different types here. I'll take pictures of all the types that I have, and I'll actually show you. I'm getting new ones too, and I love these. I'm gonna go and show you these. I'll take a picture of this too as well. These are my go-to right here. I love these banana plugs. They fit so snug. I've had issues with my banana plugs not fitting very well, but these fit so snug. It is amazing, and they accept up to 10 gauge wire, which is awesome, and they're cheap. I think I got a 24 pack for like a little over $13, and they're gold plated, they're solid, they're amazing. So I'll go ahead and show you that. Has a few more in the bag that I'm happy that I didn't know that I had until I started doing this. So anyway, guys, that's gonna be a quick video. Next video that you see on the channel will be of my receiver. The next video that comes on the channel will be of my receiver, and I'm gonna go and do a home theater setup. How to set up a home theater. I'm gonna go back to the basics. As I'm hooking my own system up, I'm gonna show you how I did it, how I hook up my speakers, how I hide my cables, how I go through calibration, things like that. It won't be too long, maybe 6-7 minutes max. Just a little tutorial on how to set up home theater. I've had a lot of people ask me, hey, how did you manage to hide your cables, or how did you set this up, or what settings do you have? I'm gonna go back and redo all that since this is a new room anyway. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so that you are notified when that video comes up, because it's going to be a super important one. Alright guys, so let me get back to work. I got a lot of work to do. Got to figure out what I want and what I don't want. So, Kpaceguy out.